is your heart. The week is not over, but it feels like it lasted forever already. So maybe it's the same for you. And in that case, for that case, maybe I can bring you some relaxation. Some relaxation, affirmation, relaxation, affirmation, relaxation, affirmation. Pluck. Tup, tup. Shh, 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 shh. For you're tired, 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 tired brain. You know, I think especially when you're having a hyperactive mind 24/7, and I really mean like 24/7, it's working and working and working. And then on top of it, you're bombarded with obligations, with deadlines, with payments you need to take, with appointments you need to organize, whatever it is for you in your life. It almost feels like you're carrying multiple jobs. The job here, the job that pays your rent, the job you take care of your body, you cook for yourself, you go to the grocery for yourself, and it all, it's just too much, honestly. And then the world seems so fast and fast and fast, and we think like, where is the time? Do I honestly only exist for waking up and exercising, whatever it is for you, however your routine looks like? And no, I truly believe we can find ways to slowly get out of that in our own way, in our own speed. Sometimes you need a fancy glass with coconut water and mango juice, mango juice, mango juice, juice, mango juice. It's such a beautiful glass. I think you cannot really see it, but my fun drink, my fun drink, fun drink. So, I think when we get older, we figure out what works for us, and we know ourselves better, and I think we become more unapologetic about who we are. Especially if you're a recovering people pleaser, you firstly need to get out of that habit of permanently putting other people before yourself, or even the own projections you're making or assumptions onto them, because at the end of the day, oftentimes people pleasing is not about the entire truth that is there, but about the idea we have from the person who's in front of us, that we somewhat think we're obliged to serve them, to please them, even if they don't even ask for that. so we actually project our own insecurities um, in a veil of friendliness and kindness onto them. So people pleasing in a way, and I don't say it front, I also have my shares and experience with people pleasing, but in a way it's also not being truthfully yourself. And so you are actually denying yourself to experience yourself, and for that you also don't allow other people to actually see who you are. And even if some people, what? Sorry, that was my stomach. And even if other people would judge you, who are they to judge you? Do they know all the obstacles you overcame? Do they have the discipline you have that dragged you out of your depression, your hardships, through your exams, through your challenges, whatever it is, that you overcame? No, probably not. So why should we even give a shit what somebody thinks, So the judgments they're putting onto you is their thing, not yours, and it doesn't define you. Their judgments are not defining who you are. Only you know yourself and what you need. And I think you already know what is good for you. And maybe right now you just cannot afford the life you wish for yourself. Or maybe you need to get things done before you actually are able to. For example, if it's moving or quitting a job, it requires, preparation. Like, in the best case, it would be nice if you have another job lined up, or if you want to quit your flat, you need another flat or another place to live. Whatever change it is, it's possible, and I'm a huge believer and huge fan of change. And personally, and I know it sounds like a cliche, but I really highly believe that the only truth is change, and the only consistency is change. And this idea and this mindset can either scare us or motivate us to let things go that are simply not in our control, and to do the best we can with what we have and know, and to control what we can control. And if then something isn't working out how you thought it would be or how you expected it, let it go and give yourself grace. Because it can bug us so hard, like it can bug us so hard that something didn't work out, and almost like a psycho, we're trying again and again and again and again. If it's, I don't know, a working project, if it's in a relationship, if it's a hobby, if it's whatever, even an addiction in a way is highly ambitionated. If you think about, like, I'm again not a native English speaker, but it's a funny thought maybe now, and I'm not saying become an addict. I'm not judging, addicts, who I am to judge, but, think about how much discipline in a way an addict need to get done in order to, get to their drugs, whatever drugs it is. And oftentimes these addicts, at a certain point, will be very, very broke, so they don't actually have the financial setup. If we're talking about the usual addict, but somewhat they can, find ways to make it work. And I mean, that idea kind of is insane, and that is also like being, it shows that they have a willpower, but that they need to and we all are addicts in one way or another. Maybe not with the substances, but there, I believe we all have willpower in us, and maybe some people have more stamina than others. But I think we as a human species, we as a human, we are prone to, we are here to create. But it almost feels like we're sleepwalking. We're sleepwalking. Sleepwalking. Sleep. 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 Sleepwalking. 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 Sleepwalking through life. It feels like we are sleepwalking through life. Sleepwalking through life. And why is that? I believe why. Because I believe that many of us feel so demotivated in times where beauty, like art, like creation, doesn't seem to have meaning anymore in a world of AI, in a world that is so quick and so quickly in change that we cannot keep up with the change, even the people who are engineering AI. And then this mindset, for what? For what? And instead of using the time we would have to create because we miss our reason why, and because we feel like we need to compete with AI. And then, instead of using this time, we are becoming depressed, we are becoming numb, we are becoming slow, we are becoming disconnected from ourselves. And that is the worst we can do, because this is the start of the downfall of a human species. And in a way we can go deep, whatever, but there are a handful of people who have the control over these, how far and how quick AI will, how quick and how fast AI will kind of take over. But not only that, but they have the choice in which direction, and good and bad, how we want to use it. So I'm not saying particularly that AI needs to be something bad. There are obviously so many good sides with it, but it's with everything. If we're not, if we're eating, food is good, but if we're eating too much, we become sick. If we're eating too little, we become sick. So it's about the moderation, and I think people don't particularly like moderation. They don't like restriction because it requires discipline, and discipline isn't the problem, but the problem, or I believe discipline is only a result of values that you create. If you're a person of value, you almost automatically will have more discipline in certain areas of your life. For example, if your values are wanting to have a healthy body and be a good role model for your children, then your habits will look like eating right, exercising, taking care of your body. And then you live aligned with your values, and the outcome is discipline in that regard. So I think what we miss is not discipline and being harder and doing more and being better and faster and quicker. In fact, I believe we need to become slower, more introverted again, having more introspection, connecting to ourselves and to our neighbor again, to nature. become still for a moment, to learn how to become still again, and to not feel uncomfortable in stillness. To declutter our brain, to declutter our brain, to decide what we put into our brain. And I know it's so difficult because the temptations are everywhere, and I'm also full of that. I'm a sinner. I'm a human. I do mistakes. I learn. I fail. I grow. I laugh. I cry. I hope. I pray. I forgive. I dislike. I like. But the older I get, the more I kind of question the bigger picture. The more I question, why do I want to buy this now? Do I want to buy this for me? Do I want to be like that for others, for myself? What do I want to contribute? What can I contribute? Where I'm good at, in what kind of area in life I'm doing good. And it's a lot. And I don't know if you feel the same way, but it feels like the world kind of is collapsing. And then we can decide if we want to give up hope or if we want to continue doing our best until our last breath. And I want to invite you, if you feel hopeless, if you feel nihilistic, if you feel like for what, join the Club of Green. Join the Club of Hope. I even have like a green ring on my middle finger, so if somebody is annoying me, I'm sorry. Cheers. Cheers. And also, you're not wrong for feeling confused. I think if you feel confused, it's a great sign that there's a lot going right with you, because how couldn't you feel confused in such a confusing world? And therefore, again, your tiniest routines are not unimportant. They are actually from great meaning. The fact you decide to do your bed every morning, great start. The fact you decide to maybe smoke less, great choice. The fact you even think about maybe, getting rid of processed food and shitty food that is not in your higher serving, great choice. And it doesn't mean you will be perfect and you won't fail or you won't be human. No, but it means you start to become more conscious, to question things, and to create your own values. And that's character building. And character building is a constant state of doing, repetition. It's repetition over and over and over and over every day. Every day, goes inside your routines. And with that, the reward comes that you feel brave enough to step outside and try new things in your own personal ways. Also, if you need to rest, rest. Don't think you need to earn rest. If you need to rest, rest. Don't earn your rest, because your body shows what your body needs. If you're hungry, eat. If you're tired, sleep. You don't need to give anyone a justification why you need more time to sleep, why you need more time to rest. You don't. So for today, I think for today, I am done. You are loved, you are important, and I hear you, and I see you, and I believe in